What am I? I'm a Ninja Turtle. No, actually, I am Jeff Thibodeau from the Orenda Wildlife Land Trust. But sometimes I wish I was a Ninja Turtle. Actually, I'm at the Margaret Wyman Sanctuary, where we have a turtle garden, protecting diamondback terrapin turtles. Come take a look. One nest here with the egg leavings, the shells that have been predated and, well, they've hatched and then very likely predated because it's difficult for them to hatch and get back to the marsh without getting eaten. But in some cases we're able to find the eggs before they hatch, protect them with a protective netting so that predators can't get to them, and then we hope with that protective measure that they can hatch, get free, and make their way back to the marsh and grow up and become healthy adults. Let's go out there and see where they came from and where they're going back to. They come from here, the edge of the marsh, and I'll give you a bird's eye view. Take a look. They come from here, they come from the water, they come across the marsh, they walk along the trail all the way into our property, and they lay their eggs in the sandy substrate. And then they come back and they do it all over again every year. Typically in July and August is when they're most active with that. And we're going to turn around, we're going to take a look at how long this walk is. And so here's the beginning of our sort of turtle garden, as we call it affectionately. And you can see the first nest that we've marked is up there underneath the stake. So they walk all this distance, which took me about a minute. And I'm going to guess it's about a couple hundred feet. And they do their thing. And that's basically what we're trying to do at Orenda, is help the wildlife by protecting land, the habitat that they depend on, all the wildlife depend on, for their life, their success. Just like every human needs a home, every species needs some habitat to grow and thrive and survive, and live their lives, and create shelter and adequate food and success for their offspring. So that's the Margaret Wyman Sanctuary. It's a cool project we have going on here to protect the diamondback terrapin. We hope you come out and visit it. It's one of the few properties we have that has a trail on it, and it's a great sight to see. Onward and upward. I'm standing in front of the beautiful Carlmond Sanctuary in the town of Mashpee on this beautiful rainy, kind of sprinkly day. And this property is one that we acquired about 10 years ago now, 2010. And it's mostly pitch pine oak habitat, but there are parts of it that are called pitch pine barrens. And that's a rare habitat, actually, unusual habitat. The other unique thing about this property is that we are actively managing it to help support the rare species of rabbit called the New England cottontail. And the way we do that is by burning several acres of the property over several years, and it helps support more of the understory habitat that they prefer. Gets rid of the larger overstory species, opens it up a little bit, and it makes it more suitable for what their needs are, their particular needs are. And so it's been successful. This is the final year of a multi-year project. And you should expect to see a bunch of little bunnies hopping around here someday soon. We hope you come on out here and take a look. It's a really interesting property. It's surrounded by other Orenda properties just down the road here. We're going to go there next. I'm right around the bend now from the Carlmond Sanctuary at the entrance to the Makepeace and the Mercy Low Sanctuaries. They're two distinct properties, but they're adjacent to each other. We own both of them, and we've had them for quite some time. Very large expanse of pitch pine oak woodland with a very healthy understory of various species that support all the local critters that you're familiar with, from fox and raccoons to coyotes and skunks and birds of all sorts. So great habitat. What makes it great is its expanse. It's really a large area, especially for Cape Cod. It's part of a much larger area called the Mashpee National Wildlife Refuge, which is thousands of acres here in Mashpee of conservation land that's owned by various entities, including Orenda, but also the state and the town and the federal government. So the Mashpee National Wildlife Refuge has several partners, and we're one of them. We're proud to be one of them. And we're continuing to actively work on protecting and managing more land here for wildlife protection, wildlife habitat, and all the other natural resource values that come with it, like water and air and scenery and all that good stuff. Oh, hey there! I'm Jeff Thibodeau, here again with you from, you guessed it, the Orenda Wildlife Land Trust. I was walking down the bike trail and I heard some rustling in the bushes, so I came to check it out. And what did I find? A beautiful native shrub called bayberry. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Sometimes it's used for scenting the aromatic beauty of its berries, its waxy berries, in candles. Oh, beautiful. Or deodorant, or some other natural product. But I'm here today at the Austin Smith Sanctuary. Oh look, there's a sign right here. And this is a property that we got in 2010 that was donated, and it's about 8.5 acres. It actually lies in both Orleans and Eastham, and it's gently snugged in between the bike trail on its west and the highway on its east. You maybe just heard the whirring of a biker going by. Well, let's check out the interior of this parcel and learn a little bit more about it. See you there. Oh, hey, Jeff Thibodeau here again. Still at the Austin Smith Sanctuary, but I'm inland and I'm upland. In other words, I'm in the woods. I'm not on the bike trail or the wetlands, but I'm in the middle of the woods, and there's strong but steady, soft but steady breezes flowing through here. But they're strong enough to knock over a lot of old trees that have grown here over the years. So that's one of the things that characterizes this interesting property, as well as a diverse canopy and understory that supports numerous types of wildlife. There's oak, there's pitch pine, there's sassafras, there's bayberry. And there's a little bit of a trail here actually, just off the bike trail, so if you want to have a respite from your hard push from down Cape to up Cape, or upper Cape to lower Cape, you can stop here, maybe have a little lunch, and you can smell the breeze. Hey there, Jeff Thibodeau here again with the Orenda Wildlife Land Trust. This time in Brewster at our 27-acre No Bottom Pond Sanctuary, which lies within the watershed to No Bottom Pond. Here's Orenda. We have some frontage on the pond. We're directly adjacent to the Brewster Conservation Trust. And then on the other side of the pond, it's the Ocean Edge Resort. I'm standing at the trailhead in front of the kiosk created by the Brewster Conservation Trust, where they've created a wonderful resource for passive recreation. It's the easiest way to get down to the pond, and from here we can get over to our land, and I can talk a little bit more about Orenda here. But No Bottom Pond is a kettle hole depression that was left in the wake of the glaciers retreating and melting, and retreating and melting. Large chunks of ice were left behind in that process, and sometimes they got filled with gravel and outwashed sands. And when that ice chunk finally melted, the sands dropped down and it created a deep depression, which then ultimately filled with groundwater. So what you have is a very interesting geological feature, a bowl really. It's filled with water. because it's down, it's an interesting microclimate. It's quieter. It has an interesting and different array of species and offers, again, more of that diversity I talked about, which leads directly to wildlife wildlife diversity. So this pond, if you were to zoom out this map, you'd see 55 acres of protected land within the watershed to this pond. So it's a pretty important area, and I'm going to take you down there and we're going to check it out. Okay. So here I am at the bottom of the kettle hole at the edge of No Bottom Pond on Orenda land. And as I wound down the slope to get here, with every step it got quieter. I heard less of the cars up above. My attention turned inward, even as it took in the surroundings of nature. And I think that's one of the great benefits of these sanctuaries, these wild places that are set aside for all of their natural resource values, especially the protection of wildlife in the case of Orenda. But also their silence, their quiet, their peace. And I want to encourage all of you to come visit our sanctuaries, take in that stillness, have a rest, enjoy the sights, sounds, smells, the surroundings, be with the trees and the plants and the soil and the wildlife and the water and the air. And remember our connection to nature, because that's where we all come from. Before I go, I know there's one burning question on your mind. How deep is No Bottom Pond really? So I'm here today to tell you that I'm about to find out, and I came prepared. Or almost. I've got the goggles, but no air. So I'm going to put all that good Tai Chi and Qigong training to work, and I'm going in. I'll let you know when I come up. Thanks for joining. And thanks to nature.